So I'm here at the Property Investor and Home Buyer Show with David Sandeman,
Hello, Kate.
who is the MD of EI Group. So David, you look after the auction sector.
Indeed.
We're seeing a fall in sort of a certain stagnation in the London market in the southeast. Does that mean your auctions that you talk about are a great place to bag a bargain?
Yes, indeed. Interesting mention the southeast, because historically we've been covering auctions for now 28 years, and really for the first time in that period we've seen, if you like, our poor cousins up north where the action is. That's booming. Scotland's really booming, but down south in England, in southeast and London, it used to be put it to auction, it will sell. We're seeing smaller closing rates of what's been sold there, and auctioneers who hitherto were doing a lot of business just aren't doing the business they were expecting to.
Right, so is this a good time how do you know when's a good time to get a bargain at an auction? Because really that's what everybody wants,
thinks
isn't it?
so, yeah. Well, first of all, let's see what a bargain is. A bargain is where you buy something for less than you were prepared to pay. If you think of it in a bidding situation, if you're prepared to go to 100,000, you buy something at 95, that's a bargain. But somebody might have only bid to 90 and stop because that's all they thought. But yes, it is a tougher market, and auctioneers have been stricter with vendors on where the reserve is. There's not the profit we used to see, and so whereas they might have taken properties, end of last year with a reserve of say 200,000, they now want 180, 190, and I think there's less people looking in a position to buy. A lot of fence sitting going on at the moment.
Okay, fine. And how can somebody help to understand the auction market and what to pay at auction through your Essential Information Group subscription?
Well, thank you. Yes, I think one point I want to get really clear, because there's a lot of confusion about this in the market. Every property comes with a guide price. Please, it is not necessarily what the auction expects to sell it for. It's only an indication where the reserve is currently set. And the rules are that the reserve can't be more than 10% of a single figure guide price, or the reserve's got to be within a range of a guide price range is given. That's the first thing to understand. Where do we help? Well, we list every property coming to auction, so it's a one-stop portal, what's coming up for auction. But crucially, and this is really important, we have information on every property sold at auction. So you might see a property coming to auction with a guide price. A good example would be, just last Thursday, London auctioneer offered a property, a house in Croydon, with a guide price of £120,000. Now, the reserve was no more than 130, I know that. I looked on our site, and properties in that street were selling for 300. And actually went to sell for 295. So a low guide price does not mean necessarily that what it's going to sell for. And what we will do with our site is allow you to see what similar things are sold for at auction. So you can work out what you're going to have to pay if you want to do it. And if that's a bit too lumpy for you, don't waste your money doing the legal due diligence. I know I was talking to Scott from Auction Finance that on that particular property they gave 7 approvals, but none of them were over 200,000 or 220, and it went for way more. Maybe they needed to look at our site to see what things were selling for.
Sure. So basically it'll help you understand what you might end up paying for the property prior to turning up.
Yes, indeed, because whereas in private treaty, if you offer the asking price, you're probably going to get it. Off the guide price, you won't in most cases, because that's only reserved. You've got to work out what it's likely to sell for, and if it's going to be more than you want to pay, it's probably best not doing the due diligence, which you must do prior to bidding, such as checking the legal documentation.
Okay, that's great. Well, it's great to talk to you, David.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
See you at the next show. Thank you.
To meet and listen to the UK's top property experts, visit propertyinvestor.co.uk. Or if you want to be part of the show, call 020 8877 0610.